what the collective is learning tonight. Tonight, the collective is learning how the mirror was trained and why your hair was never just hair. We're pulling back the velvet curtain on a quiet kind of spell, the kind that convinces sacred people to police their own crowns. We're exposing the planted plastic comb energy, the subtle sabotage, the cold approval system, and the hidden code that tries to make you shrink before you even step outside. Because the truth is, the enemy doesn't always attack with violence. Sometimes it attacks with beauty rules, professionalism, and whispered shame disguised as advice. And tonight, we learn how to break that enchantment without begging, without performing, and without ever dimming our divine silhouette. Collective, breathe with me, slow, deep, like you're inhaling your own ancestry. Your crown is not an accessory. It's a signal. It is the antenna of the bloodline, the throne of the nervous system, the soft temple where memory stores its music. They feared the afro because it looks like sunrise refusing permission. They feared locks because they look like time braided into truth. They feared coils because they spiral like galaxies, and galaxies don't ask to be understood. They simply expand. Tonight's wisdom is this: what grows from you is not a problem to solve. It is a language to remember. The false crown wants you to worship neatness. The true crown teaches warmth. The false crown wants you predictable. The true crown makes you unrepeatable. So as we open this scroll, let the mirror know something. You are not here to be approved. You are here to be revealed. And any room that requires you to flatten your divinity just to enter, that room is not a goal. It's a cage with pretty lighting. Tonight we walk out.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. The golden whisperer, sea star, Devalan see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
Scroll of the velvet comb. The night the mirror tried to snitch. The night opens like a jazz club with the lights low and the truth loud. The mirror is foggy, the air smells like shea butter and rebellion, and somebody's lying again, right in your reflection. Our heroine steps into the bathroom like it's a courtroom. Silk robe, bare shoulders, confidence like a loaded question. Her crown of coils is standing tall, but the mirror has that attitude, that slick little smirk like, "So, you really gonna wear it like that outside?" And that's when she hears it. A soft click behind her. Not a gun, not a ghost. Worse, a plastic comb. A cheap one. The kind that used to live in somebody's purse like a weapon of assimilation. The kind that snaps and laughs while it does it. The kind that acts innocent but has ruined more mornings than toxic exes. She turns slowly. A man is leaning in the doorway like trouble that reads books. Locks, deep eyes, voice low like midnight. He holds up the comb between two fingers like evidence. "I found this," he says, "in the kitchen drawer." Now, why would a kitchen have a comb like that? That's not an accident. That's a plant. That's sabotage. Somebody has been trying to infiltrate the sanctuary. The home, the crown room, and baby, we don't play about crown rooms. She walks up close, too close, the kind of close that makes people forget their own names. She takes the comb and examines it like a detective examining a blood-stained glove. Then she smiles, not sweet, not friendly. A smile like, "I know exactly what kind of demon you are." She turns the comb over and sees tiny letters etched into it, almost invisible unless you know how to look. Control. The room gets colder. The mirror suddenly looks less like a mirror and more like a portal that's been watching. He says, "You feel that?" She says, "I do." He says, "Something's in the house." She reaches up, fingers sliding into her hair like she's checking her weapons. Her crown shifts, breathes, expands. That's when the mirror flickers. Just for a second. Her reflection isn't her. It's her, but smaller, flattened, quiet. A version of her built to be approved. And the mirror whispers without moving its mouth, "You'd be safer if you were softer." She steps closer to the mirror until her breath fogs it. "You think safety is shrinking?" she murmurs. Then she laughs. Low, dangerous, beautiful. The man behind her leans in, voice like a bass line. "Baby, that mirror's possessed." She taps the glass with one finger. "No," she says, "that mirror is trained." Then she pulls out a velvet comb. Not plastic, not cheap. A comb like an heirloom. A comb like a key. And when the velvet comb touches her crown, the room warms up. The mirror flinches. And the false version of her in the glass starts cracking like weak glass under real heat. Because the truth about crowns is this: the false crown needs your fear to survive. The true crown needs only your permission. The mirror tries one last trick: flashing images, job interviews, side eyes, relatives calling it nappy, strangers reaching without consent, lovers who wanted her hair changed so they could feel bigger. She watches it all. Then she says something ancient, something her ancestors taught her through blood and bedtime stories. What grows from me is holy. The mirror goes dark, and from inside the glass something hisses. Not at her, at the crown, because it knows. The crown is awake now, and the crown remembers. Woven into the velvet, if it costs you your natural self to belong, you were never invited, you were being recruited. Wear your crown loud. If they require you to flatten your truth to enter the room, that room is not a destination. It's a trap. Receipts, facts, esoteric knowledge, no fluff. 1. Hair discrimination is real enough to need laws. The Crown Act, state-level versions, exists specifically to ban discrimination tied to natural hair texture and protective styles like locks, braids, twists, knots, afros in workplaces and schools. Examples of states still passing it recently. Pennsylvania signed its Crown Act in Nov 2025, explicitly naming afros and locks. Policy Plus labor folks track that roughly about half of U.S. states have passed some form of Crown Act protections. Counts vary by year and what's included. 2. Institutions have historically tried to control black hair. 1786 Louisiana Tignon law required black women to cover their hair, a literal crown control law. That's the blueprint. Control the hair, control the identity, control the social mobility, and then act surprised when people call it what it is. 3. Even the military has had to update rules to stop punishing protective styles. U.S. Army Eller Act 016/2021 explicitly authorizes combinations of styles and references, lock hairstyles, loosening older restrictions that disproportionately hit black women. More recent updates continue to tweak grooming standards, meaning this is an ongoing battle, not a solved-in-the-past issue. 4. Civil rights enforcement and guidance recognizes hair bias as race discrimination in practice. The EEOC has pursued cases involving race discrimination related to hair texture under Title VII enforcement. NYC's human rights guidance explicitly frames hair discrimination as part of anti-black racism and explains enforcement. Hair as Antenna Plus Archive. Across many African and African diaspora traditions, hair is treated as more than aesthetics. It's status, lineage, spiritual identity, and social language. When a system attacks hair, it's rarely just fashion. It's an attempt to disrupt memory's belonging. You see it in Tignon laws, workplace bans, school policies, military grooming rules, the whole ugly parade. Why the afro reads as true crown? Because it's visibly unshrunk truth. The afro doesn't whisper compliance. It broadcasts sovereignty. That's why it gets labeled unprofessional in spaces that confuse professional with comfortable for power.
Universal Currency Receipt, Architect Musician 3611027, The Graceful Whisperer, Devalan Seal.
If you have to shrink to be accepted, you're not being welcomed, you're being managed. Wear what grows from you like a living scripture.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community, you've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started, and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
Your peace is not a prize you win by proving yourself. It's a boundary you enforce because you finally believed you're worth protecting. Move like this today. If it drains you, it's not just how it is. It's a leak. Plug it. If it confuses you, don't chase it. Clarity doesn't play hide and seek. If it requires you to shrink, it's not love, not work, not family, not destiny. It's management. The crown stays warm when you stop begging cold systems to validate your fire.